Shalom, shalom. Checking the live. Just checking the live real quick. All right, it's not. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, looks like we're good. Hey, you're right. Shalom, shalom. I'm gonna be going for a walk. That's why I wanted to check the live feed before I went out and walked. So yeah, just gonna go for a walk and do a little prophesy and talk in my backyard here, back area, and basically, why am I calling this video what the title is why I will be journaling my videos from now on. Because the main thing is, we leave here at GMS starting from the top. Starting from the top, that 2026, right, is a year that will never be forgotten. All right, it's a year that will never be forgotten. So forgive me. I don't have walking. It's cold. I got my hat on. I'll just be quoting scriptures and walking while we do this. Okay. So let me just do an intro. We'll get to walking and talking, prophesying, talking. All right. First off, I like to say, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Bachwak with us. Sawada, Yahweh, for giving us Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who have the 100% spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai in them. Double honors to the CT bishops, our big Akim, and greetings and salutations to the Akim in this country and all over the world, prophesying in the true name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, which is none other than the power of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and anybody or descendants from those people on their father's side. Shalom to those who are scattered abroad. I'm your Iqwab, Lord of Willing, serving the King of the universe, King Yahushai, from the power of Yahweh, the Father of our Lord and the Father of the elect. All right. Again, the title is why I will be journaling my videos, Lord willing. Every time I do a video, I'll say what day it is. The main point being that I truly believe, like I start from the top of GMS, while starting on down, this year will never be forgotten. And I just want to talk about why it won't be, why I truly feel this way. One sec. Oh, gotta go with the barbed wire here. Oh, that's a big print. Man, it's probably a bobcat. Anyway, so yeah, and pretty much due to the Venezuela situation, looking at a lot of non-mainstream news on the latest what's going on over there in Venezuela, and that's affecting the whole world. Pretty much in about gas is gonna go up, man, and probably about like $4 or $5. Well, $4 or $5 a gallon, excuse me. And by probably the second quarter of the year, which is, April, a little bit around April, the second quarter of the year. That's about 4 months from now. Then pretty much 18 months as the year goes, basically by the end of the year, the gas may be up $6 a gallon. And within 18 months, all right, a year and a half going into 2027, gas will be up to $8 a gallon. All right, we're talking about inside of 2 years, really inside of 18 months. And that's just if America, Babylon the Great, does not invade any other country or breaks any other international law. And again, Salaki, I'm just going through the spirit. I didn't rehearse anything. I'm just going to talk, Lord willing. And a lot of things flowing on my mind, and I don't really like to be self-centered and say I, but for the sake of the video, and I desperately need to walk, we'll do this. So the main thing is that, again, Venezuela is invaded by America, about right on which they broke international law. Okay, looks like a bob cut there, and they broke international law. Revelation 17 and 16 is in full effect. I did a video going into J.D. Vance when he went to Munich. I believe it's in Munich, Germany. It was February 14th, 2025. And that's when he went over there in Munich, Germany, and insulted the terrorists within, your real problems within your country, all that kind of stuff. And, I truly believe that's when Revelation 17 to 6 really went into, Revelation 17 to 16 really went into a higher, truly want to get rid of Babylon America the Great, and truly had hatred and anger for what J.D. Vance said on February 14th, 2025. Now we're here in January with it the 8th, 8 days in, 2026, and as of 3 days into the new year, there was again the invasion of Maduro, or American Made. It's called American Made by Tom Cruise. That was a good movie going into that, basically drugs coming into the U.S. They orchestrate it, and they have basically puppet leaders or fall guys like Noriega and what's the other drug guy? Noriega. Get right to my tongue. Or Escobar, Pablo Escobar. Even, famous drug guys in New York City, Frank Lucas or whatever have you. They're all set up by the government. The mob, the Italian mob, all set up by the government. They're allowed to do their operations and work through being an informant for getting less charges and working through the government. And so the big traffickers of drugs, which the number one drug or drugs in the world are the pharmaceutical companies. That's the real drug. A lot of people in the world, right? 25% of people in the world, right? How should I say? America makes up 5% of the world's population, but they make up 25% of the world's on being prescribed on prescription drugs. Right, so the true drug traffickers are America, Babylon the Great. Just one little piece of knowledge right there, to explain that. And so, this whole thing with Venezuela is really about a de-dollarization that's been going on for the past 30 years, but especially since the LA crash and then the lockdown, of 2020. The government of America and the dollar has been crashing, has been devaluing, and all these other nations know the deal. They're evacuating the dollar. They're using other forms of currency to operate their nations, to operate their countries. Because the whole world knows right now that the American dollar is nothing but a trap. it comes with certain incentives, not incentives, excuse me, not incentive, but certain traps, you know, and that's really having the power remain in uh, America, Babylon's hands when they could just turn against you at any point. They're all about stealing resources and putting their own agendas in these nations. But the thing is, here in we always say in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai and the Holy Scriptures that the major game player is the MOTB, the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast, if you do your research and the knowledge of that, the Lord will reveal to you it deals with the economy. It deals with buying and selling, right? That's why any other Israelite or anybody else who talks about the mark of the beast being a bargaining chip or a white woman or anything else that what we say here at GMS, starting with the top and down, because the Spirit of the Lord's with us, because we prophesied this, starting with Apostle Tahar and the apostles back before YouTube, right? But one of their first major hit, one of their first videos, they were going into the MLTB back in the summer of '07, right? So all this I'm saying is that the MOTB, the mark of the beast, written in Revelation, cannot come into play, or will not be in that will not coincide with the dollar being established. The dollar has to crash for the MOTB to come in, because the MOTB is going to be the new form of currency, the new form of buying and selling in the New World Order. That's what they want, and it all goes back to tracking, and control. It goes into the New World Order system, which is totally a major offense against the power of our Lord. The Lord even punished King David to try to censor or number the children of Israel, right? Because that's pretty much playing God, and that's a no-no with the Most High. All right, and that's what the MOTB is trying to do, and really they have bad intentions for it. They could turn you off, you can starve, you can't feed your family, you won't be able to go to work, you can't drive your car, or you can't get any medical treatment, all because you don't take this chip. All right, and this is what this is going into, because the latest thing in Venezuela, it really deals with oil, and it doesn't deal with drug trafficking or anything like that. You got to be, a real Sesame Street character or a mindset to believe the elementary, the trivial reasons why they went into Venezuela. It's not just that easy. All right. Because you got other nations, like I was looking at a little documentary on, I think, Saudi Arabia or Iraq. I think Iraq, they're doing more so-called messed up things, like they killed a journalist. I believe Saudi Arabia, they killed a journalist. You got South Korea, that's one of the most craziest nations in the world, how they mess up their people, but they're not attacking them, You're attacking a weak nation like Venezuela because they are they're doing business with other countries as far as their oil. Venezuela has the most oil reserves or oil in the world, right? And I got to do another special on that. I'm going to do another one, Lord willing. But now that we're looking at the water real quick, I mean, hey, I'll just say it. Oil is the second most abundant liquid on Earth. All right? Let me say that again slowly. All right? Oil is the second most abundant liquid on Earth. All right? I already did a show, and I'm going to do another show on it again, Lord willing, soon. That's a whole nother topic. I don't want to really segue into that. But here it is, proving that this man's the devil, because he made something that's regenerates more than you can oil regenerates more than you could extract it from the earth, right? And being that the Rockefellers back in during the industrial era, when they enacted a lot of their laws and Rockefeller monopolized money, one of the things as these devils did, they put out they had a Geneva Convention in 1892 where Rockefeller hired scientists to lie to the people and say, yeah, it's scarce. This oil is scarce. So, you're going to have to make such and such amount for this oil because it's scarce. right? But it was all about money, right? Lying to the people like any other information out there is for money. Everything you see in this world, if it's a major lie and you find out about it, it's all rooted into money, right? So anyway, going back to the Venezuela situation, you know, you got other countries that are doing way worse, or killing journalists and labor rights, you know, in these other nations, and you're not going over there doing nothing about it. You're going into Venezuela because they have made deals with other nations, right, without the dollar, which that will crumble the U.S. economy, and it is. No matter what this damn devil's doing, it's still going to crumble the economy, right? So that's why I said this year will never be forgotten, because it is a pivotal year in world history. We're still in biblical times. It's a pivotal year in biblical times, and it's a pivotal year in world history ever. And day 55, day 66, I wonder what day 66 is, but day 80, day 100, I'm telling you through the Spirit, it's not going to be the same. This year will be, it's like, it's going to be, you're gonna have to keep a record. And even as far as the second quarter of the year, gas will be going up. You know, you might be paying $4 to $5 a gallon by April, and that's in just 4 months. You already knows what happens when gas goes over what, $3 or whatever a gallon, or close to 99 or $90 a barrel. Once oil goes over $99 a barrel, that's it. People start struggling, man. All right, that infects the logistic system. That affects travel, food, stores, like we always been bringing out here at GMS. Right? We've been saying what for how long? No, let me not go that way. Bust math. How long we've been saying that the food stores only have what, 3 days worth supply of food in the stores. Okay, and you have what? You have you need trucks. You need a logistic system, trucks and whatever have you to deliver these things. Okay. Okay. You need stuff to deliver these things, and that means obviously gas. Gas for these trucks. Right. So yeah, man, this is a big deal in Venezuela, and we know that on certain levels. If you're in the know, you're not a peon, which those are people in the know are the men of the Lord, starting with the apostle of GMS, the men who have the spirit of Yahweh Shemai Shainim, all the Akim, is that the elites, the international banking families, they're the one really illustrating this, because they're initiating a war. What Trump just did, he broke, he always breaking crime, breaking rules, but this is a major worldwide breach of world law. Another thing I just found out, that Venezuela just closed a big deal with China. The last week of December. So the deal was that I believe, going by memory, it was Venezuela did a deal with China worth $80 billion for the next years. The deal was that China was gonna rebuild the oil infrastructure. That China was gonna build their oil infrastructure, which was formerly structured by the U.S., right? The technology that Venezuela had to extract oil was all American made, oil refineries and rigs like that. But since, I believe, the end of 2000, in the mid 2000s, not mid 2000s, yeah, mid '08, '07, '10, I forget which one, but at some point in time, or even maybe early 2000s, yeah, mid 2000s, America froze assets to Venezuela and cut off their supplies because they were doing business. Venezuela was doing business with, Russia, China, and the other nations. And that's when Maduro, no, Sanchez, I think it's Sanchez, that the guy before Maduro came into power in '99, and he cut off ties or went another route as far as being entrapped by the dollar because until then America was and Venezuela they were in good partnership good partnership and but when the president before Maduro came in '99, I forget his name, Sanchez, I think, something like that, that he basically him his cabinet they saw the stronghold that America had on Venezuela and exploiting their country and the oils, saying to themselves, why are we in this web of debt and control under the Americans where we can do more with these other countries? They make more money and benefit our people better, right? So with that happening, America froze their assets to Venezuela. That's why at a certain amount of time you had Venezuela. They had there were at one point in time there was cannibalism out there. Here at GMS, we were reporting on that. Just a sign to the times that, like we said, that Venezuela, the cannibalism that was happening in Venezuela, and the economy that was on a crumbling down, it was like 10 years ago, is coming to America. It was a prelude, right? So inflation was high. Venezuela didn't have any access to their money in dollars, right? Because America cut off their sources or their froze their assets, right? So that's when they went into the whole, the cannibalism and people were starving and dying, right? And it really messed up their economy. But since then, Venezuela been doing business with with uh, with Russia, with China, with India, right? And then been as basically came back to what almost to the levels of money they were making with America. They've come back to that point, right, by doing business with other nations. So they basically come back into what they were making before without the dollar, right? Because they were being stuck on the petrodollar. But now they have done business, like I said, with other nations. And the recent one was with China, and they were going to rebuild their oil refineries in Chinese machinery, right? And that was going to really, really destroy America and their dollar to another level. And it's already destroyed, with the BRICS nations, with all the nations that are and signed up with the BRICS nations. I think there's 27 to 40, right? Pending. There's 40, but 20 something are pending. That if you add up all the nations that the BRICS nations, as far as oil is concerned, right, that makes up 80% of the world's GDP. All right, let me say that again. I believe all the oil contracts that the BRICS nations have, all them together combined, make up 80% of the world's production of oil or GDP of oil. And America is not included in that. All right, so there's a de-dollarization that's going on amongst all the nations, right? All the nations know that America is a problem, and they don't want to deal with their dollar, right? That's what's going on. And really, what's going again in Venezuela, what happened with America invading and kidnapping Maduro, that has really set off again the Revelation 17 and 16 to another level where these nations, I mean, it's obvious. You broke international law. The hatred for America is at an all-time high, and it's going to get worse, right? It's going to get worse, and on top of that, and then another thing is, a lot of these things are divergence too. All right, we got to bring up the Epstein situation, right? The Epstein list, right? A lot of these things are what the American administration Trump is doing. Caesar Nero, he's a madman that the Most High put in there, and it's perfect because he's bringing this nation down. It's all biblical prophecy. But a lot of these things are happening with the Minneapolis shooting with the ICE, right? Them shooting somebody, a woman in the car, and they're dead. I don't know what happened, something like that. And then you have, this whole Maduro situation with Venezuela, and all these things happening simultaneously in this country, right? Is a lot of these major breaking news is diversions from what's really going on. All right. So a lot of diversions are happening. A lot of false flags are happening this year. This may be the biggest year of false flags, deep fakes, fake videos, you know, they're happening. Okay. Brother Amon Gabar out of GMS dropped a video, I think a few days ago, going into now they're deep faking or AI in brothers' videos. Okay. The AI and deep faking brothers Akim's videos. And that's something we saw that trick a while ago because that's obvious. They're gonna use the deep fake. They're gonna use AI to set up and frame the elect, frame the men of Yahweh Shemai Shai, the men of the Lord. All right, because it's hands down that the men of the Lord are back, and it's proven to be the apostles of GMS on down. Looks like somebody got something back here. I don't know what the hell that is. Let me go down. Ooh. All right. So, what else? I'm gonna walk a little further down. It's like a plateau, maybe like 5 minutes ahead. So, what other stuff? So, like I said, a lot of things going on right now is diversions from the Epstein list. And that Epstein thing is proven to be critical and proving these people are devils. The Trump, all these presidents and the celebrities, just proving the wickedness of America, man. Matter of fact, when I come back from my little hike, I'm gonna go back inside, Lord willing, and do a video on Isaiah 47:3. Right? What's that say again? Isaiah 47:3. It says, damn, I forgot. But I had it marked down for a show. And the main point is, the beautiful thing about it is, man, what's it say in my head? Man, I can't forget. I can't remember. Isaiah 47:3 is that I can't remember. But I know Isaiah 3 involves the Lord coming back, and it says, "I shall not meet thee as a man." But the first part of that sentence is happening now. Oh, the Lord is lifting up the skirt. That's what it was. The water, Yahweh Shemai Shai. The water. The Lord, Yahweh Shemai Shai, is lifting up the skirt. All right, damn near butt naked. By 6 months from now, that America ain't gonna have no skirt. It's gonna be totally naked. All right, America's gonna be totally naked before the world, and it's happening now. You can say America got no pants on right now. All I do is take off a shirt, and you'd be totally naked. The whole world sees the hypocrisy, the wickedness of America, and especially, with that Epstein list. All these presidents, celebrities, they're on that list, and we already know what that's about: pedophilia, sexual aversions, murders, and things like that. You got the Clintons on that list. You know what I mean? So the shame Most High is doing on, because really the Most High, Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, he's really the one doing all this. And it's beautiful, man. Proving the prophecies of Yahweh Shemai Shai is true, and the prophets, who are the ones bringing out these prophecies, they're true. We belong to that we belong to Yahweh Shema Shah. We got the Holy Spirit on us. You know, so again, that shame, the Venezuela situation brought more shame on another level to Babylon the Great America. It's not looking good. Look, not a good look at all for America Babylon. And the beautiful thing about it is, right after that shame, what's Isaiah 43:7-3 say? I shall not meet thee as a man. Okay? So all this proves that Yahweh Shai is coming back, man. A great power is coming back. Because of the shame. You see? So shame of America, the shame of that nation, back of the Lord are like peanut butter and jelly. All right? Ain't no peanut butter jelly sandwich without no jelly. Ain't no, well, you get the point. You gotta have boy to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. So the comeback of our Lord, the nation of Israel, and the elect being saved, you can't have the shame without the Lord coming back, and you can't have the Lord coming back without the shame of this nation. And it's happening now. So that's another beautiful sign. We at the end. The shame is definitely there. The shame of America is definitely throughout the whole world, man. So Yahweh Shai. All right? And he shall not meet thee as a man. Okay? He shall not meet thee as a man. So, what else is important to say? So yeah, again, this Venezuela situation, it's being orchestrated on a high level, of course, from the Most High Yahweh through His Son Yahweh Shai, but on a low level, the elites, the international banking family, they're the ones that are kind of orchestrating too on a low level because they want to initiate a war, right? And that's basically a war tactic that Trump did, and I'm bringing this chip. That's another major thing. There's no MOTB with the dollar side by side, and you know what I mean. So the dollar has to crash, and guess what? America got to go down too. So you've seen the destruction of America as we speak. You've seen the downfall. You know. So a lot of stuff is gonna happen. You're gonna have race riots. Oh, you also have so many things happen. You got you got disease, right? Outbreaks soon to be released on another level. You know, like Apostle always said, through the Spirit, he said 2020 was just a test, a lot. You know? It's just a test, a rehearsal. All right? And so the real deal, they're gonna do something, man. The real deal, they're gonna do something this year, Lord willing. So sickness, economy crashing, civil war, right? Is all on the horizon on another level in 2026. Again, that's why day 50, because as the days go by, you know, I truly believe this year, like what Paul said too, is a pivotal year. This year will never be forgotten. Even if the Lord, most high forbid, is 2026 is going to be a major part. You know, it's going to be a major part of that. This year will never be forgotten. Here's a plateau. Yeah. So yeah, this year, man, it will never be forgotten. And it's already started. Day is already day 8. All right. And on January 3rd, that day will never be forgotten. You know, man, this is exciting, man. This is exciting. So it's really, as always been, you know, we know that the elect and who we hope to be, starting from the top, apostles of GMS, that like Paul Star said years ago, fortify our minds for the days to come. Because like I said, in April, the second quarter of the year, gas can be up $4 or $5. You know, you already know what that means. Okay, more violence is going to increase. All right, civil war, you know, or how should I say, sedition amongst men. I'll say, right? It's just going to get worse. But who's going to stand in that day? Right? Isaiah 33 verse 6, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times and strength is salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Right? If the whole world is going to see that who has the treasure of the Lord, who has the fear of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, right? And it's going to be in that day a treasure. You see now, like apostles and a lot of Akim been saying, our stock of the man of the Lord is going to go up, right? That gold is going to start to get shiny now, you know. So the Lord is going to polish the men of the Lord this year, you know, that you can't ignore his shine, which comes by way of the name of Yahweh Shemai Shah and these prophecies, man, you know. And again, you know, inflation's going to rise. It's going to be hard to get food, buy food, you know, by the end of the year, you know. If the Lord, you know, don't come back this year, by the end of the year, it's going to be totally different, man. This is it. This is it, man. Through the Spirit, truly believe it. No matter what happens, man. So, you know, day 1 to day 8, right today, and the day 20 to day 30 to day 55, to day 180. It will never. You're gonna wish it was day 3 again. Okay. You're gonna wish it was day 3. So it's beautiful times, and again, it's gonna be known because that fame is coming for the men of the Lord, and not for our sakes, but for Yahweh Shemai Shai's sake, his glory, you know, his glory. So, what else? I think so this is, you know, back area, back of the place. So I can't really go any further. And, yeah, man, might be in the wilderness soon, man, you know, off the grid. So this is, again, a very exciting year. You know, overall, the Most High is playing chess with these dumb Edomites, bankers, you know, the elites. And Yahweh Shai is winning, man. He's already he's setting them up, you know. And again, you know, all these other nations, you know, China, India, Russia, all right. You best believe they're making moves and making plans right now. But the major plan is to drop the dollar. Right? It's over. It's over. It's over, man. Kahalal. Kahalal ya bishmashai for this, man. You know, so we're seeing the downfall that's been going on, but this is a pinnacle point of this America's downfall history. And guess what? This is the 250th year. The 250th year of America's rulership, right? And as we know, if you do your research out there, right, which has been clearly been demonstrated by the apostles and on down the members of GMS, we always been telling you that every 250 years empires fall. That's the average, right? And we're literally in the 250th year, 1776 to 2026, 250 years, right? And this place is showing all the signs of a crumbling economy, a crumbling nation, and a fallen empire. Nobody respects, no other nation respects America no more. Like the scriptures say about these nations, it said, have you become as weak as us, right? Okay. There used to be a time you couldn't talk against the Babylon the Great, you know. Now every nation's talking against Babylon the Great, even its own people, talking against its leaders. MAGA, they've turned their back on Trump. Okay, okay, and me personally, I don't see a good end for him. I think he's going to go out just like his former self. Which we believe, starting from the top of GMS Pastor years ago, brought out that Trump is Nero, Caesar Nero. I saw something else where he could be Caligula, some other, but I don't believe so. I believe Pastor to the Spirit, and I did the research years ago. I believe this guy's Nero, and just like he showed so many signs of Nero, that in Nero he was the most hated president. Excuse me, he was the most hated Caesar, and in Rome. And also, of course, I'm talking about reincarnation. All right, there's a reincarnation in the scriptures. All right, the same people bring back the same times in history. Right, so just like Nero blamed the Christians for the burning of Rome, which he started, Trump he's doing the same thing. He's blaming Israel. He's blaming the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, which are you so-called blacks, Latino, Native Americans. For the world's problem, for America's problems. He's not saying outwardly, but you're doing it through ICE, right? And here it is. You got other nations out here. Moab, Ham. You got Ishmael. What about them? So the people that the government's seeking out through the Trump administration, they're all Israelites. All right, and even in Venezuela, they're Israelites out there. Okay, they're from the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So what's another point? Nice scene there. I have a messed up stand here. I'm holding my hand. And what was I saying? That I'm gonna stop soon. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, we're in beautiful times. Yahweh Shemai Shah is definitely working. And this latest news with the Venezuela situation is, I'm sorry, I was going into Nero. So yeah, so I'm sorry. So Trump is Caesar Nero reincarnated, and he's doing the same things that he did at that time. And I was saying that I don't see him lasting. I think his own people are going to turn on him. It's going to be bad. It's getting real bad, man. And just like how Nero went out, he committed suicide. That's what I believe. I'm not saying it's prophetic. I'm just saying what I believe, Lord willing, that he's going to go out the same, regardless, whoever is there, if he stays, if something happened, it don't matter. The bottom line is that America is going down. It's over. It's over, man. We've been saying it, but it's over. All right. The dollar is dead. Okay. Now America invaded Venezuela because, like I said, they did a big deal with China that was going to solidify their place in the oil market and destroy the American economy to another level. And I guess, of course, America is not having that, right? So they're trying to force their way into, coercion. They're forcing people to use the dollar by military force. And here it is, they're lying, saying that, yeah, this is a international law. We brought on law forces, but you didn't use the police, you used the military. So that's a war action. You see? And the whole world sees it. And now you just messed up China's deal. Okay? You just messed up China's deal. So what does that mean for America, man? All right? They're not going to get away with it. They're not going to get away with it. So it's over. All right? So whatever they were trying to do, they just made it worse. And now, because the whole world, all the nations have seen, like Saudi Arabia, they're in business with Russia, and they've been slowly walking away from the dollar, But now all these nations that deal with the dollar in some level, they're saying to themselves, well, we don't want to be a part, we don't want to be invaded. This is what happens when you deal with the dollar, right? Because if they invade another nation, man, we're just that much. It's what I said. It's gonna get even more. It's gonna escalate. All right. It's gonna. How should I say? It's gonna make the destruction of America more faster. If I'm saying it right. So if they invade another country and do the same shit, put another puppet leader, that's just gonna make it even worse. All right. But as of now, right, I saw a video breaking down that in April, right, the second quarter of the year, as the quarters go on, third quarter, fourth quarter, gas will be going up, hands down. So the gas is going to go up. You already know what that means for transportation, for food, for work, for jobs. Okay? So who's going to stand in these days? Who's going to stand? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and his men. Who's going to stand? The ones that had the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Who's going to stand? The ones that were prophesying in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? Who's going to stand? The ones that was breaking down the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel and the Gentiles, bringing out the Cornelius issues, bring clarity to that. Who's going to stand? The ones that were talking about the MOTB, bringing it to the people, condemning the wicked, and raising up the elected spirit of Yahweh Shemai Shai, man. Okay, so all you other false dummies out there, man, like Apostle said through the Spirit, a year of the apostates, agents, and fallouts? Yeah. Okay. The Most High, he's working, man, and he's moving fast. We didn't even bring up the chariots, man. Okay, we didn't even bring up the chariots, man. What about that? Excuse me. Well, let me do that real quick. Yeah, so the chariots, they might make a great appearance this year. Remember, was that Zechariah the 5th or Zephaniah the 5th? Right? That curse that goeth forth over the whole earth. Yeah. Okay. Matter of fact, hold up. I did bring my Bible just in case. Read that real quick. And then I'll stop it on there. And hey, shalom to Akim on the comment board. Shalom to Water for watching through the Spirit. I can't really see the comments, but shalom, the family of Yahweh Shemai Shai. Let me just set this up, Salakia. I'm trying to get to my book back here. Hold up. Oh, that ain't really working. Hold on. All right, good. All right, let me get my scriptures. It's about to be sunset. As you can see, that's the west. All right, just getting that scripture on the chariots. All right, we got it right here. So this is Zechariah, the 5th chapter, right? And this is another thing that we ought to look for, all right? Another major thing that's going to change the whole history of the world. We're in biblical times, so, the chariot sightings on a major level. This is Zechariah 5:1, the prophecy. It says, then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll, all right? And behold means to look, literally means to look. So again, it says, then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Again, then he said unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth, for everyone that stealeth, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it. And I will bring it forth, said the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shai, from the power of Yahweh, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Right? Who's a thief? Well, Trump just proved it by kidnapping Maduro, which is a sovereign nation. Right? So they stole him. And they're bragging about stealing their oil. Stealing their oil tankers. Right? So they're obviously, the whole world sees them, man. Stealers. Thief. Just like you stole the land of America from our brothers, the Native Americans. Tribe of Gad, tribe of Reuben. Just like you stole the house of Judah, the so-called blacks. Right? The American Negro, the Haitian, tribe of Levi, and the so-called blacks of the West Indian Islands. Jamaicans, tribe of Benjamin. Jamaicans, St. Trinidad, St. Lucia, the Caribbean islands. Okay? You stole Israelites and put them over in hardcore forced slavery, man. Labor. Right? Gator bait. Used black babies as gator bait, alive. Strapped them up to sticks and put them on rivers like you see here to get gators, to market them for skin or whatever have you. Skinning slaves, castrating men, eating slaves. All this history is being brought out. You people are the devil, man. You're the nation of Edom. You're the thief. So what we're reading here, that would have to mean that chariots, they're going to be covering the face of America, man. Because you're the most wickedest nation on the earth. Because you stole the Most High. You didn't steal any people. You stole the Most High people here, right? And you put them here in the worst slavery known to man. So you know them chariots are coming over here, man. It says, verse 4, And I will bring it forth, said the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Who else is that? Who else is a thief like America, man? Again, the capture of Maduro by Trump administration just proves what they are. He bragged on live TV saying that they stole oil tankers. This is all about oil. Like I said, I got to do something on it again. The second most abundant liquid on earth. Proving you how much more of a devil these people are, man. That's part of the fatness of the earth. The resources, the benefits, but the oil that they stole and lied to the people saying it was scarce. It's not scarce. Oil regenerates faster than you can replenish it. You see? This is why this man's making nations starve, killing people off of this major lie. There you go. I see a comment. Get down for your crown. Yeah. John 10:10. The thief coming not but to steal and kill and destroy. That's right, man. Okay. Who is that? All right. So the Lord said, Zechariah 5:4, I will bring it forth, said the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of this house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof, showing you that the chariots and that the nuclear weapons are not the only instruments that's going to burn this place on fire. The chariots, we just read it, they're going to consume it, right? With the timber and the stones thereof. They're going to destroy this place with fire. Right? That just made me think of something else real quick. I just forgot, Slakia. Oh, damn. So I think about Habakkuk. That's pretty much it. Let me see what else I can kind of get. Okay, I'm gonna read to the point. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." And it's speaking, it's been speaking, but it's yelling now. It's talking. These prophecies are talking to the world, and the prophecies are playing out. Revelation 17 and 16. That's in effect, man. That's in full effect. And like I said, I believe it started on a certain level where mainstream media started covering it when J.D. Vance went to Munich, Germany in February 14th, 2025. I believe that's when nations could ignore the arrogancy and the stout, like the scripture saying, Daniel's 7th chapter of America. The stout was more proud than its fellows, something like that. The whole world sees America's pride. The whole world sees their hypocrisy. And these nations, they want to take America out. It says, "For the vision is yet from the appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." All right? So it's coming, man. And again, this year will never be forgotten, period. Even if the Lord come in 2027, 2026 is going to be a turning point. It's going to be a hard turn. 2026 is the jade helm of the Lord's return. Verse 4, "Behold, the soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." That's right. Right? We're gonna see who really believed in Yahweh Bashim Ashai. Okay? Who is really justified in the sight of the Most High? Is it American citizens? Is it the Democrats? Is it Republicans? Is it the UN? No. Who's really just? Is it the Constitution? Ain't nothing but toilet paper now. Who's really justified? The men that believed in the commandments of Yahweh Bashim Ashai, the commandments and the laws, statutes, and commandments that was given unto the nation of Israel. Psalm 147 and 19. These men who believe in the commandments, which the ultimate commandment is to believe in the Lord, who died, who didn't break any commandment, who is the perfect spirit of all creation, did not commit one sin. Those who believe in that spirit, which is the son of Yahweh, his name is Yahweh Shai, those men are going to be justified. Men, women, and children who believe in Yahweh Shai, the son of Abba Yahweh, we will be justified. Because it says, because you're going to see there's a soul that's not upright, and that's going to the international bankers and these damn Edomite people, these Edomites. Right? You're going to see all these people, what they've been saying, they got nothing to fall back on. What law? Your laws are nothing but, they don't uphold anything. Your laws are really outcome is chaos and confusion, but not the laws of the Lord. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man," right? And that, like I said, the whole world seeing their pride. They break their own rules. You know you can't trust nobody if they break their own rules. Right? The wine represents their ideologies. You know? What they think is morally right. You know, and in this case, they think AI is morally right, but AI has been proven to be demonic, man. Bringing back people from the dead. You know, letting out people rest. You know, you got Tupac AI videos, Biggie AI videos, Bruce Lee AI videos, Muhammad Ali AI videos, people who died being brought back to the AI. That's demonic, man. Speaking too. You got Michael Jackson. He got his little AI thing. He's speaking and doing stupid skits. Anyway, that's part of their wine. AI is ultimately their wine. That's what they really truly believe in, and it's really Satanism, you know, the Baphomet, the worship of Satan, Saturn, and etc. He's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as death. They cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's what this devil is trying to do with the MOTB. All right. So everybody, the whole world seen the pride of America, the pride of Edom. They see that you don't keep at home. Now they talk about they want Greenland. You know what I mean? They want Greenland now. Like who does that? Well, Esau does that. He don't keep at home. He enlargeth his desires hell, right? He just bombed Nigeria. What the hell Nigeria doing to anybody? And is as death, cannot be satisfied, and but gathereth him all nations, and heapeth him all people. Right? And that's what the MOT, that's what this Venezuela thing really enacted on another level. It's gonna crash the dollar, crash the system. Gas will be definitely gonna be going up. America is done, man. It's over. It's over. The Wadi Abishimai Shai, man. And so this is a beautiful thing. We just got to hold tight and fortify our minds and be strong and endure the sufferings that are coming our way, due to financial straits, But overall, our spiritual money, our mind, our faith, that's just rising. All right, our stock is going up. While the stock of America and their stocks are literally going down, literally. All right, pun intended. The stock of the men of the Lord, the stock of Yahweh Shemai Shai's men, right? They're being brought up, man. And this year is going to be a pinnacle year to show that the Most High is stock, that ones that bring out the prophecies, man. All right, and this year will be journalized or periodical. I think the other word is right. You'll be remembering these days, day 1, day 20, day 100. So let me get one last scripture. Isaiah 13:12 is starting. The sun started to set. That I hike back. This is Isaiah 13:12. It says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And we're actually in the land of Ophir now. Ophir was another name for this North America region, because when King Solomon was ruling, right, according to the history, King Solomon had a great Phoenician army, which are Hamites, and what he would do, he would send his Phoenician army, his navy, over there across the Atlantic Ocean, which you call America today, right? And it'll be a 3-year round trip. It's written in the scriptures, all right? And they would bring back a lot of resources, spices, fruits, vegetables, and all that. But one of the main thing was minerals, right? Minerals and certain precious stones, which is the main one is gold, right? So when the gold that Solomon had was from here in North America. See, they don't tell you that history. And Solomon was a so-called black man, right? Tribe of Judah, and the gold that was brought from here, from his navy, was brought back to Israel, and that was the best gold at that time in the world, even better than the gold that was in Israel. So that's why it was called. The Lord compared his men to the golden wedge of Ophir, because we're going to be that much better than anything in this world, man. The elect, and this is where we strive to be. The whole world's going to see it, and it's really going to be glorifying Yahweh by Shema Shai. And it's all done by just keeping it simple, bringing out these prophecies, man. Not making no rap albums or party Passovers, you know what I mean, and dumb gimmicks, right? We just gave you the word, the name of the Lord, and brought out these prophecies, man. So, with that, I'll say, Lord willing, if I remember, I'll occasionally start, journalizing my videos. You may see day 8, or you may see day 20. I may start including that, Lord willing. Because I truly believe this is going to be a year that will never be forgotten, man. through the spirit of Yahweh Shemai Shai. So no matter how you look at it, whether it be the RFID chip be mandated, whether the economy crashes, whether what else? Zombie pox, like a disease, like a great disease that has zombie-like attributes, gets released this year. Whatever, man, it's gonna be a historical year. By the end of it, and again, get prepared for gas prices to skyrocket. All right, we're talking about inside of like maybe 3-4 months. You may be paying up to $4 or $5 a gallon. So with that, I pray you edified. I pray this this show was spiritual. Had the Holy Spirit on it, and hey, all praise Yahweh Shemai Shai. Keep it strong for what's coming our way. But we know He's here, man. So all glory to you, to Yahweh by Shemai Shai, Kal Halal, Yahweh by Shemai Shai, by Hashem Rafah Kodesh. All right, double honors to the apostles of GMS, who had the 100% spirit of Yahweh by Shemai Shai in them. Double honors to the CT bishops. All right, our Begakim, and greetings to the other warriors, elders and elders, other camp leaders in this country and all over the world, prophesying in the true name of Yahweh by Shemai Shai. All right. Again, this year will never be forgotten. Shalom.